Let's hear a round of applause for Cindy Lee, ladies and gentlemen. Bonsoir, monsieur. C'est avec tout que moi remercier nous d'être nous venir à Soya. Pour nous fêter le drapeau pays nous, symbole indépendance et l'unité peuple haïtien. Merci pour honneur nous faire moins d'être nous vendre la parole. Aujourd'hui, nous parlons de un petit causé tout court sous drapeau noir. Moi, je parle parler en anglais tout parce que petit causé ça, c'est pour tout le monde qui est ici là. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your presence here tonight. Dans le mois de février 1803, Général Dessalines et Général Pétion décidé de proclamer indigène dans le drapeau Paris. Dessalines chiré parti blanc dans le drapeau français. Nos filles qui relaient Catherine Flon, font morceau toile pleine avec morceau toile rouge là. Les coudes ensemble. C'est comme ça, premier drapeau l'armée indigène là, c'est bleu et rouge. Le 18 mai 1803, dans la ville de la Caille, Dessalines organisait une cérémonie pour l'armée indigène là, baptisée drapeau ça. C'est pour ça, date officielle fait drapeau haïtien, c'est 18 mai chaque année. Sorti février 1803, arrivé janvier 1804, drapeau indigène, nantais bleu et rouge, avec ban yo campé vertical. En janvier 1804, les Haïtiens déclaré le pays à indépendant. Ils ont changé de position devant le drapeau. Ils ont mis le coucher horizontal, bleu en haut et rouge en bas. Tout découlé, collé sous le drapeau pour montrer au peuple haïtien que les poulets ça y est égalé. Ce drapeau ça, drapeau d'indépendance là, n'a fêté aujourd'hui. Dans le mi-temps drapeau il y a une devise qui dit l'union fait la force. Qui veut dire main en main, épaules collées, on nous fait combattre tête ensemble pour Haïti camper. Tonight, as we commemorate our flag, I invite you to reflect on the adage that encapsulates its meaning. L'union fait la force. L'union fait la force. These forceful words hang in every corner of this room. We bear them in our hearts and minds. These words constitute an ideal and our spiritual point d'honneur. However, we have yet to achieve the unity which we have ingrained into our cultural identity. Thus, we have yet to achieve its strength. Our unity is a work in progress. As we strive for unity, we must recognize and respect the great diversity that can only make us stronger as we move forward to create a better tomorrow. We must carry one another, teach one another, encourage one another to push past our self-imposed limitations into the strength our ancestors proclaimed over 2 centuries ago. Let us for a moment consider the words of l'union fait la force. Its English translation, unity is strength, implies that unity merely exists. Saying that unity is strength, however, does not make it so. In English, we lose its message because unity is not a passive state. Unity does not just exist of itself, and strength never emerges from unity spontaneously, nor is it begotten by an immaculate conception. On our flag, that verb fait, in l'union fait la force, implies action, doing, a making of l'union. Unity is intentional action. It can't be arrived at. It has to be worked at, accomplished, and constantly reevaluated to ensure its relevance and utility in our community. Unity is an ideal that requires our constant attention, and it compels us to acknowledge the great diversity of the diaspora. There are many of us who do not speak Creole, many of us who are not able to follow the words that I speak now. There are those of us who have just arrived in Chicago, and those of us who were born here. We are of different faiths, we are of different lifestyles, we have different experiences. When we embrace all aspects of the Haitian diaspora, When we integrate ourselves into a cohesive community of Haitians of every creed and hue, only then can we move forward in unity and strength. In the middle of our flag sits our coat of arms, the cap of liberty that crowns the palm tree of liberty, the muskets, the cannons, the drum and trumpets. Let us wield our tools. Let us take hold of its roots. Let us place the cap of liberty on our heads. Our flag is our constant reminder, our teacher, and our guide. But we have not always been apt pupils. We have already been given the formula that will make us strong. We need not figure it out all over again. So let's look at the variables of this brilliant equation. Let us reflect for a moment on unity. Why unity? And the implications of this particular word choice as we consider its aptitude for strength. Of all words that could have been used to lead us to strength, there was a deliberate choice in unity. Our flag does not say la résistance fait la force, even though this was an important element in our independence from France. Nor does it say la puissance fait la force, ou bien la vigueur physique fait la force. Nor does it use courage, vitalité, cœur, détermination, volonté, or énergie, all of which are words often associated with strength. With so many seemingly obvious options that would have sufficed to describe strength, our predecessors chose unity above them all. I also want to talk about the role of unity as we continue to strengthen our Haitian community of Chicago. Sadly, we are not where we could be. We tend to put up barriers between us at every opportunity. We place ourselves in hierarchies based on the languages we can or cannot speak, based on how much formal education we have received, and based on the puissance we perceive ourselves and others to possess. This modus operandi only divides us into those who are perceived as less than and those who are perceived as more than. We have work to do. Far be it from me to suggest that unity is uniformity, but we must learn to collaborate as we retain our individuality. This doesn't mean that we are to be of a similar mindset, or that we should be of a similar political persuasion. Let us consider ourselves and every individual as a strength, and as every person's strength is unique, not less than or more than, but exceptional and singular. In light of recent events surrounding the campaign for dual citizenship, the construction and maintenance of a cohesive and inclusive community of Haitians all over the world is as important as ever. Let this Flag Day be for us a beginning. To paraphrase a fellow compatriot, we must live. We must live inside being African. We must live inside being American. We must live inside being Haitian. We must live inside being proud women and respectable men and going home when there is no geographical place to call home anymore. I want to live there. We must leap over all precipices and realize our nation. How can unity take its proper place among us? First, we should not dare speak for each other. Every voice counts, women as well as men, the young and the less young. There must be participation from all walks of life. L'union fait la force is a call to action, not merely a state of being. It must be constantly worked at, maintained, evaluated, and sustained. Unity is a challenging task. It must be difficult, so that it can be earned and therefore valued. How can we become that inclusive community if we remain at the periphery expecting others to meet us there? It is a sterile performance in which one shouts, "Why won't you come?" and the other shouts, "I see no place for me." We must meet in the center by participating in the capacity in which we can, with open-mindedness, with new participants. We must enhance our methods and renew our objectives. By working towards the inclusion of all that are part of the diverse diaspora, we will become more than the sum of our parts. Main en main, épaules collées, on nous fait combi tête ensemble pour Haïti camper. Vive Haïti, vive Haïti.